Hey everybody, welcome to The Player's Take, episode 7. I'm your host, Justin DeSimone, joined by my co-host, Montrell Rice.
Hey, what's up?
Player's Take is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. We post on Tuesdays at 6 a.m. Central Time, and we talk about various topics. So we're going to jump into what we've been playing. What you been playing, man?
Unfortunately, I'm still playing Kingdom Hearts.
Well, okay. Do we want to talk about it at all? Obviously, I've been playing it as well, but I kind of want to wait till we're finished.
I can wait to the end of the very end of the.
It'd probably be
section.
next week, right?
Yeah.
I imagine. I think I'm gonna finish before next week, but
I probably should be finished. I mean, I saw that the average game time is about 25 hours, and I mean, I'm on the second to last world, I think. So
yeah.
I don't think there's many worlds after that. So
I don't know. I guess we'll talk about it more. I mean, yeah, for me, it's mostly kind of gotten better, and then it got worse again, and I feel like that's probably going to happen again before the end of the game, so...
Yeah, I feel like it's probably going to get more better. I've been trying not to spoil it, but just, looking forward and, just reading some comments and posts.
Is there something to look forward to?
Yeah. Because it's the worlds, man, And I read a post, and you guys were right, too, as well. I mean, let's just be honest. The main title games, 1, 2, and 3, they really didn't tell the story very well. All the story was in the
side games. It's all in the side games. All the good stuff is in the side games for the most part.
So when you come back to those, the side games have very good story. They're very good storytelling as far as the combat.
They're focused, though.
Yeah.
That's their thing, I think. The main numbered games are not... Besides 1, I still think 1 is fine.
Yeah, 1 is pretty fine.
But
it has to flesh out the
world.
world.
2 and what 3 has been so far is just really unfocused. There's too much going on. There's too many characters. And they don't introduce new characters very well. And the existing characters I don't know. The whole game feels like it's stalling, you know?
Yeah, and I'm not trying to bag on this game because I just see so many people, and it's mind-boggling how many people are like, oh, man, this is the greatest game ever. Oh, man, this is the best Kingdom Hearts. And
yeah.
I'm just like...
I know what you mean. It is definitely annoying to see.
And I'm not trying to be the cynical guy, but I'm how? I genuinely want to know, how do people find this game?
They're not scrutinizing it closely.
Yeah,
I really think that's it. I think that's all. I mean, we've talked about this. I think this game in 6 months is going to be looked at very differently than the way it's looked at right now.
Yeah, I think the game's okay, but I don't think it's a 7 for me.
Yeah, I'm sitting at a 6, honestly.
Wow.
I mean, seriously, dude. I have disliked it more than I've liked it, and because I mean, when I say a 6, I'm talking about a scale. My scale would be a 5 is average.
Yeah, 5.
So that means
average,
6 is above average.
Yeah.
So I'm still saying it's above average when I say that. I'm not. It's
you're
not
using
it's not the IGN scale where a 6 is a trash heap. You know.
Yeah, you're not using the grade scale in schools.
Yeah,
or anything
so
like that.
I'm sitting around a 5 or 6. With it, and there's certain parts of the game spoilers for the worlds, I guess, that are in the game, but the Frozen world
is literally the movie.
The worst world imaginable. It's so bad. I think it's the worst world I've ever seen in a Kingdom Hearts game. It's awful. It's awful, dude. Because I was on this high with because I did Tangled and Monsters Inc. back to back.
Oh yes,
and those worlds were really
good.
Were good. I thought those were good worlds, and I really enjoyed them. And then I go from that to Frozen, and such a letdown, man. We'll get into more details, I guess, when we actually give a full-on review.
Yeah.
I suppose next week. But yeah, it's more the same. I haven't wanted to play it. I played it on Sunday, and I think I played about an hour this whole week.
I'm sorry, Pirates of the Caribbean is the worst for me.
Yeah, I got into that a little bit, and yeah, I'm not looking forward to it because it seems like a huge world. Yeah. And I don't know if I want to play it. So I need to grind through it and just get through to the end, but we'll see. I mean, hopefully we'll be done with it by next week.
Yeah.
So, in terms of other games I've been playing, more Shining Force 2 on phone. I'm grinded through that. Don't have I probably have about 25% of the game left, I'd say.
Okay.
And then some PUBG this week, a little bit. And then not been playing the Division 2 beta, which has been a fucking thing. Ubisoft's stupid account system has created this weird situation that I can't get my code for the beta, so I'm not able to play on PS4 right now, which is really pissing me off. So my account is like 7 years old. I didn't have my account details, and then I tied the beta to that account because I thought it would just activate and let me play on PS4, but no, it didn't. It supposedly is supposed to send you an email with the code, and I don't have access to the email address tied to my account anymore, so the code's just sitting in the middle of the ether, and I have a case open with Ubisoft, but they're probably getting slammed, so I haven't gotten any response in like 24 hours, so I'm not expecting to be able to play at all.
Yeah, Ubisoft has a weird thing, because when I got that code for like, my Blue Yeti mic, and it came with the game code for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Yeah. So not only do you need the code, but you need to have the date that you purchased it, because I'm just remember everything now. Yeah. You have to have the date that you purchased it, the company that you purchased it from, and the fuck, man? And the code, and then they send you the code to download the game. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why do
it's a lot of hoops to jump through. Yeah, they're doing the same thing with this beta, because I logged into my Ubisoft account with my PSN account because I know the details for that, and I figured, because it asks you to put it into the site, it asks you what console you're playing on, PC, Xbox, or PS4, and then it asks you for the code that the retailer sends you. You put that in, and I just assumed at that point, like, oh, okay, my PSN account should be able to download the beta now. But no, I was reading online that people, once you put that code in from the retailer, it sends it to your email, and then you can download it, which is just like, it's just bullshit. Because I know the password for my account that I set up like years ago, and it's not working. So I don't know if my account just expired because I don't use it. I haven't used it in a long ass time, or my password expired, or what. But yeah, I'm trying to get it. Trying to talk to Ubisoft's support is bullshit. They're getting destroyed, and they even say on the site that they have a ton of requests. So
because it's stupid how they're doing stuff.
Responses are going to be delayed. But yeah, it's like why are you doing this way?
And I think companies need a more advanced way of, if you're going to make me sign up for something, don't do it. I mean, I can have an email, but I don't want that to be my only way of like resetting shit. Yeah. Like, if you need like a phone number or something like that, and that's cool. But I don't know. It just seemed like, because if I have an old Yahoo account,
that's what it is. I have an old Yahoo account that I used to use for everything. No one uses
Yahoo anymore.
Yeah, I used to use for everything. Nobody uses Yahoo, and that account was just a spam, just completely spam with so much shit. I would get like 1,000 emails a day on this fucking account. So I closed it out. Yeah, I closed it out because I was tired of it. And it's just, I don't know.
So they like, later on in the years, like, what Gmail becomes obsolete, you know what I'm saying? That's why companies need to stop with. I mean, I don't know if there's a better way. There needs to become a better way to sign up for stuff without just using your email.
Well, usually with these games, when you buy the retail copy, the retailer will just send you a code for the beta that you just put in whatever platform you play on.
What's so hard about that?
Yeah, what's so hard about that? I don't understand. It's just a beta, dude. So I'm in a situation now where I'm not even going to get to fucking play the beta, and I was super excited about it, and now I'm mad. I mean, I'm still going to probably play the game, but this was kind of a... I mean, let's I guess go ahead, because we were playing the Anthem demo last weekend.
Yeah, and that shit was fun as hell.
That surprised us and how fun it was, and now I'm kind of vacillating back and forth. Which one of these do I want to play, Anthem or Division 2? And this is not good for the Division 2, because I can't even play it, you know?
Yeah, because Anthem was surprisingly good. It was
Yeah,
we played on the fence about getting Anthem because you think it's like Division, or not the Division, but if you think it's like Destiny, it's nothing like Destiny. Like, it has set classes, and each class has a role in the battles and stuff like that, and it's really diverse in the bots that you can choose.
We played for what, like 4 hours, probably?
Shoot,
we got through all of it in about 4 hours.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, and it was really cool. We all picked, because you gain access to one other javelin besides the Ranger in the demo. And we all picked different ones. I was an Interceptor, you were a Colossus, and the third guy we were playing with was the Stormbringer or whatever.
Or something like that, yeah.
And yeah, it was really interesting to play with them. They play very, very differently, which is not what I was expecting. I expected more of the Destiny kind of thing, where the three classes are kind of the same, and
they just have different abilities.
Yeah, but
there's not really no stat changes or anything like that.
Yeah, and these are completely different. You have different levels of health and shields. Like you were playing Colossus, you didn't even have a shield, right? It was just...
I had a shield. I just didn't know I had it until like mid.
No. I mean the blue regenerative shield.
Oh yeah, I didn't have a shield.
Yeah, you just had like a shitload of health. Yeah, right. And the Ranger had like 4 bars of health or whatever, and then the Interceptor had half of that.
Oh,
of
really?
The Ranger. Yeah, it was super squishy. So it seems like they're very distinct in how they play, and I really enjoyed that fact. So I mean, I'm still thinking about buying it. I'm not really sure.
I think I'm going to buy it. I think we should buy it for like a summer game, like just in case the division kind of fails us or whatever. I don't think it is, but like, yeah, I think I can definitely play it for a summer game.
Yeah, and I mean the Division 2's also had some issues this weekend. Like there was I was reading some stories that the Ubisoft was recommending that you restart the demo every 2 to 3 hours so it doesn't crash.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? What? Like why are you even doing this if that's what the state that the game is in, that you're like letting people play? That's crazy, dude. Like that's crazy. Because these demos are supposedly like 6-week-old builds. Like, why are you letting people play a build that's that unstable, you know? Anthem was the same way, though. We had a ton of crashes with the Anthem demo, which, dude, they got to clean that up. I'm sure it won't be that bad at release, but if it is, that's not good. That's not good. So, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. I had fun with the Anthem demo, but I think I'm still locked on Division 2. I really like the first one, the way it played. So, and I kind of like the setting of Division for some reason. I don't know why. The lack of a supernatural element actually is appealing to me. It's just people. It's like it's weird. I think that's something that people knock the game for, is that it was kind of bland. But for some reason, I like that, you know?
When they started adding more enemy types, like when I first played it, I did knock it for not having that supernatural element, but then they started introducing more like crazier people that you run into. Now I guess that can fill in this supernatural element, like if you're in that situation for real. So just crazy ass people everywhere. And like the fire department turned into like a
that was what was cool about it. The fire department was like an evil faction or whatever.
It turned into like a flame faction.
Yeah, dude, they were like all using flamethrowers and shit. It was interesting. Yeah,
so I think that's really cool, and I'm interested to see what they're going to do at Washington D.C. Like maybe find a secret section of the CIA or some shit like that.
Yeah, or the FBI or something.
FBI.
That'd be pretty cool, dude. So I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm hoping by tomorrow or Sunday I'll have access and I can actually check it out. But I'm not optimistic because I've heard shit in 24 hours. So we'll see.
I mean, everybody's negative, but including us. But I like I said, if I had went by the negativity that was surrounding Anthem, I would never experience.
No, that's why I wanted to check it out and give it a shot. I mean, the demo for that game didn't require a pre-order, so it was easy to get in, which was really smart of them, actually, I think, because I wouldn't have checked it out otherwise. Yeah. If they hadn't forced the pre-order to get into that demo, I would not have done it. So
I think the Division, especially after this, I probably think they're going to do the same.
You think so? You think there'll be one next week?
I think there.
I hope so. I really hope so, because obviously I want to fucking try it. So
I mean, if they're getting like held up, and if there's stuff like this, I'm pretty sure you're not the only person it's happening to. Like,
100%.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people like did the same thing. So there has to be like a free weekend so they can get people. Because I mean, just look at the success of Anthem. Other people who play Anthem, like I wasn't about to pre-order this shit, but now it's on my radar.
Yeah, now. I think a lot of positive buzz came out of this past weekend. So we'll see. I mean, on that front, though, they did announce some post-launch plans for the game that interesting the way it worked. Did you look at this? Did you look this over, man? Because so they announced the post-launch. So the game's going to launch on the 22nd, and then they're planning on updating the game with the ongoing narrative of Anthem, quote-unquote. Act 1, The Echoes of Reality, is going to launch after the game comes out, and then Acts 2 and 3 will come out later, and then it will keep going, I suppose, is what they're planning on.
So in-game stuff?
Well, so what I don't know, like, there was no clarity here, really. But what does this mean? Does this mean the game's story is not complete when it's going to come out, you know?
I just think... so this is what I think, right? I think they had a revelation or of sorts, because I remember when Star Wars came out, people complained about the lack of the game content was good. It was just got to that end game, it was just shit.
Yeah.
So I think this is kind of their way. I'm like, this is not going to be another Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
We're going to keep updating it.
Yeah, we're going to keep updating it. So that would be interesting to see. So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I will be disappointed if the game comes out and is not like complete, I guess. But I guess we'll find out when it comes out, right?
I mean, it looks good so far. So I mean, but
Well, have they announced a season pass or anything like that?
No,
I don't think so. Right?
Well, you know what? Hold on.
The only microtransactions are going to be that cosmetic shop.
They did have something like an Anthem premium something.
Well, yeah, they have like a premium edition or whatever. I think it gives you some of the in-game currency to buy cosmetics with.
I had a real issue with how they did that release schedule shit.
Yeah. Oh,
that
I don't know. I think people got a little bit too bent out of shape about it.
It's stupid.
Like the way it is stupid.
The way they marketed it was stupid.
It's not that complicated, man. It's like there's like 3 or 4 versions, and you get access. Literally, what it was, you get access to the demo 2 weeks ago, and then you get access, you get if you're in
the VIP demo.
It's the VIP thing, the EA access, right? Like if you're part of EA access, you get it early. If you're on PC, if you're not on PC, you don't get it early. You get like 10 hours. Or
Why
something.
could the 10-hour shit? I just hate it.
I know,
and they did it with Mass Effect Andromeda as well. Like I think that's the dumbest thing ever.
It's like $15 a month. It's a ripoff. Who cares? Just whatever, dude.
Yeah,
I think the thing that annoyed me about it is the fact that it's basically the releasing the game on the 15th, and why don't they?
The game's ready.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why don't they just release the fucking game then? You know,
people try to say
they're trying to manufacture value for people to pay them $15 a month.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't like that, but
no, I don't either. It's silly, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, if you hate, I don't buy it. I'm not gonna buy it. So just if you don't like it, don't buy it. You know,
it's not. But people are justifying it, which makes me upset with it because it's stupid. Like it's just stupid.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Like you say, it's manufactured hype. It's manufactured premium. Is trying to justify that this is valuable when it's actually not, and it's just a way to get your money. And I understand it's business, but come on, y'all, like that's stupid, man.
Okay, well, what else have you been playing?
I completed Resident Evil 2, the first playthrough with Claire, so now I'm going through with Leon. It's interesting because
it's pretty different, though, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, so what's interesting is if you start the first playthrough with Claire or Leon, it's almost relative. It's the same until you get to a certain point. Mm-hmm. So what I was expecting was I played it first with Leon hardcore, and let's say I ran to the gate. I was inside of the police station. I ran to the gate, and Claire was outside the gate, like, "Oh, you made it in here. I'm going to try to get you in," or she's like, "Can I get in?" and stuff like that, whatever. So when I started over, because hardcore was just fucking too hard, because I didn't have the stuff that you needed. Yeah. From the second playthrough, that was meant to be a second playthrough mode.
Got it.
But so I restarted it, and my girlfriend came over, and we started with Claire. So Claire was the same way. It was like I didn't start from the outside, like where I thought she was gonna be an outside gate.
So it's basically you were playing the same thing.
Yeah.
Again. Okay.
But and Leon was on the outside the gate. And he basically said the same thing that Claire was saying. So. But when I beat the game, and it was like, okay, second run, Leon, and you see it from a different perspective. So that mode, once you beat the game, you see it from the different perspective of how Leon got on the other side of that gate, or...
Okay, so the person that was on the outside, you're playing their version
you're playing
of
their
events.
version, and it's completely different from, like, the base game. You get different save points, you can see where your character is from the first playthrough, what they did, like at that point of the game and stuff like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's really cool. So I like that, and you can tell they worked really hard on this game, and I appreciate it. Yeah, and it's like Capcom has a good revival arc coming back.
Yeah, I like that. I like games like that give you like 2 different characters, and they have different things happen to them. Yeah, it's not just a flavor thing. Like I want to be female or male or whatever. So yeah, it sounds cool. I as I said, I don't know if I'll find time to play it, but it's on my brain.
Hopefully you can play it this summertime.
It's on my brain, so it's something I want to check out. But okay, so what else you been playing? You playing anything else?
And, still climbing the ladder, the cancerous ladder of League of Legends, and playing some PUBG with you guys.
Yeah, a little bit more PUBG. Okay, so moving on to the news. So kind of a big thing happened this week.
Very surprising.
In the realm of Battle Royale, Respawn released a game, not Jedi Fallen Order, a game called Apex Legends, which is a battle royale set in the Titanfall universe.
Yes,
which this has been an interesting week for this game because people were really
up in arms to it.
People were really upset when it first came out, saying they were really disappointed that this is replacing Titanfall 3, and they did confirm they're not working on Titanfall 3.
Yep. At least I'm glad
not right
they're very
now.
Transparent with that.
Yeah. And that pissed people off. But then people started playing the game, and I think people actually really like it from what I can see.
You know who's streaming this game now?
Who?
Ninja.
Really?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
He's moving off Fortnite?
Possibly. He's
Not
been
like permanently, or
not
he's just
permanently,
been playing
but
it?
he's been playing it.
I mean, I think all the streamers have been playing it, man. Like, I know Dr. Disrespect has
Doc
been playing
loves
it.
it.
I don't know about Shroud, but I'm sure he's been playing it too. So, the interesting thing about this, though, this game exploded. Like,
oh, man.
The first day, they had a million different people play this game.
Yeah, in the first 8 hours of the game.
Yeah, and within 72 hours, that the game had 10 million unique players play the game, which is fucking insane. They had, what was it, it was like almost 1 million concurrents, I think they broke.
I think they,
at some point during this week.
I think they're at 600 million now.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Or 600,000.
Well, I think they're at 600 million players, but like 1 million people were playing at peak time. I think that's what I read. I want to say either it's 600 or 60. I'm going to go with 60. That sounds more realistic. I think it was 60.
That sounds like a lot. Even 60 million. I mean, the story I'm reading is from yesterday. 10 million in 72 hours. So I think they had 600,000 concurrent players at one time, and it broke 1 million at a certain point.
Okay, yeah,
this week.
that's what it was.
Which is fucking nuts, though. That's insane. Like, that is. I mean, congrats to this team.
Oh
like,
yeah, they definitely deserved it.
I'm happy for Respawn because they're probably
not
safe
gonna
now.
die
Yeah, they're probably safe now. Considering the way EA had been handling them, they felt like a company that was on the chopping block.
Oh man, you can tell.
If Jedi Fallen Order did not pan out, so I think this though, if this holds true, they're gonna be okay probably.
Yeah.
But the game is free to play. It has a cash shop for cosmetics, and so the interesting thing about this game is that it's like a hero shooter kind of, but it's a battle royale. So you pick different characters. They have different abilities. They're not like vastly different from each other, but they have a few different abilities. And it seems like there's a lot of really fast-paced traversal elements to it. You have like a grappling hook and shit.
Yeah.
Similar to, I think, the way Titanfall 2 sort of played without some of the stuff in it.
It doesn't have wall running.
Yeah. I haven't personally checked it out, but there's a lot of buzz around this game right now. It does seem to have a lot of technical issues, though. I've heard a lot of people are experiencing like tons of crashes and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I've been seeing that a lot. I'm not personally interested in it. It doesn't look like a game I'm too into. I'm more into the slower pace shooters, but I mean,
I'm definitely going to check it out because I love Titanfall. I love that universe, the gameplay surrounding it. It wasn't just another Call of Duty clone. They actually try a lot of things differently.
So the interesting part about this, though, to me, is kind of battle royale as a whole. Do you feel like this is a genre? Like, do you think this game pulled in people that don't play Battle Royale? Or do you think this is kind of a situation where they're kind of pulling from the other games and people are trying it out, and if they like it, they're going to stick with it? Or if not, they're going to go back to the game they usually play?
So what's interesting about it is I think since it released on consoles and stuff like that, and it's free, it did pull from a lot of other markets because you had to buy Call of Duty to get into the Battle Royale genre.
Yeah, Blackout.
And a lot of people like myself and like I even say like Jet or whatever, to instance, they weren't really into the cartooniness of like Fortnite.
Yeah.
And they didn't like the whole building aspect. So this is like, and I didn't want to buy another Call of Duty game just for Blackout.
Yeah.
So
you think this is filling a different niche?
I think it's filling that niche for it too.
And this is completely different than PUBG.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of interesting. The more of these that come out, the more PUBG stands out. I feel like.
Yeah.
It's really interesting the way this is happening because PUBG was the one that started all this, right? It was the first one that came out, the first one that got really popular.
Yeah.
But it's also the slowest one, the most tactical one, the one with like the slowest movement.
And it still has concurrent players.
And it's still got a ton. I mean, we said it made $1 billion last year. Like it's still making a shitload of money. So the game is still popular. But it's interesting. It seems like a lot of these other companies are starting to compete with each other and not PUBG because Fortnite is obviously completely different from PUBG with the cartooniness of it, and it's very unique in its own way. So it's not really competing with like Call of Duty. But then Call of Duty comes out. And people were comparing it to PUBG, but it's so different from PUBG.
So
it's not even close to the same.
I think this would be a better comparison.
This
to
seems like a much closer gameplay style to Blackout than PUBG. So it feels like this game is competing with Blackout.
But the difference is I don't have to pay anything to play this game.
That's true, yeah.
I can play it, and I can say if I like it or not, and then I can uninstall it.
Yeah.
But if I do like it, I can keep playing it and keep investing into the game. So I think it's a good balance. Like, that's what we were saying, you know. Actually, maybe fucking EA listen to us again. You remember saying last week or a week before last that if you have a good sound game, and as a system there, then people will flock towards it. And this game has it.
Yeah, it seems like they let this game incubate somewhat. I don't know how long. There's no real way to know how long it's been in development, but it's quality enough that it's not turning people off like, you know, like fucking Radical Heights and some of those other early access garbage battle royales on Steam.
Yeah, their first like AAA developed game, like, or free to play game. Yeah, I mean that's a stretch. It's not the first one, but people are just like, "Yo, this is a AAA free game." People are really happy about it because it's a really quality game, and it's free.
Yeah. So EA didn't rush this out the door, and it's really interesting the way they released it. I mean, they just released it on Monday.
Yeah, we didn't hear anything about this game.
I think we heard about this briefly last week.
Really?
They had a. Hold on, we have a story. They had an earnings call, I think last week, and they mentioned Apex Legends in it, or maybe it was this week. I'm not sure actually. So okay, let's move on then. Yeah. Our next story is about EA, and EA had a really bad quarter. Their stocks dropped precipitously. They've been dropping for months. Interestingly, though, Apex Legends has gotten that stock to bounce back this week.
Yep.
Investors in gaming are really funny. They're so predictable, man. They, like, the second anything happens, they're like right on top of it again. You know, they jump on this stuff so fast.
I mean, because Battlefield did not sell well.
Yeah, they don't understand like the ebbs and flows though. It's like, to me, it's like the way you should invest in gaming is buy when these companies are low, because EA is not going anywhere. So buy when they're low. When they have a hit like this, you sell, and then you wait till they drop back down again, and then you just keep doing that. It's they don't understand the ebb and flow of this stuff. Like Activision Blizzard's going through a similar thing right now because they got rid of Destiny, so their stock dropped hugely because obviously it's a huge revenue stream they lost, but like they're gonna replace that with something eventually. They're gonna
find their cash cow.
Yeah, they're not gonna stand pat. So, but reading
so close to getting rid of the EA empire.
Reading through this though, there were some interesting quotes. They talked about it was really Battlefield 5 that they focused on in their report, saying how it was disappointing. They revealed that it had 7.2 million copies sold.
That's multi-plat, so that's why I think that's number so low in my opinion, because it's multi-platform.
But I was telling you this, like, their expectations are fucking insane, because 7.2 million copies sold for most 99% of games is like a smash fucking hit.
But you gotta understand that's over 4 platforms.
I understand. I totally understand. But this is like this
or 3
irritates me with these publishers, is that it's always about more. They can't just be satisfied with a game fucking doing.
Oh,
really
I 100% agree.
You know,
with you,
it's just.
I do think the sales numbers were low just compared. Like if it had did like 15 million, then that's cool.
Yeah,
but like 7 million over 3.
No, I mean this sounds disappointing for Battlefield. Battlefield usually sells more than this.
Yeah, it's on average 20.
But they reap what they sow with it. You know,
they literally told gamers don't buy the game.
No, and it seems like they rushed the game out too, because the Battle Royale wasn't ready on launch.
Nope,
the game didn't have that many maps. It was very incomplete.
So what's that other quote about the Battle Royale?
Well, so yeah, there was another quote that they mentioned that they believe the focus on single player was a big reason why the game underperformed, and that if they had focused on the Battle Royale and gotten that out, the game would have done better.
And they're totally wrong.
And this dude, it's so irritating to me that they're like,
they
EA
cannot admit when they're wrong.
No, EA is one of the dumbest companies. They do this all the time. They are a trend follower. They're not a trend setter. So they right now the trend is Battle Royale. So their thought process is, and much to my chagrin, Apex Legends' success is going to reinforce this with them, is that they're like, okay, if we just stick Battle Royale in our game, it's going to sell really well. That's not how it works, dude. Like, if the Battle Royale mode for Battlefield 5 sucks, nobody's going to play it, and that's not going to be a success. So
it's like people don't understand the nuances behind Battle Royale. The reason why Apex Legends is doing so well, getting so many concurrent players, is because it's fucking free. It's a complete game, and it's not really trying to get your money.
It doesn't feel like a cash in.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a cash cow. Like, that's what people need to understand about these games. Like, I mean, PUBG, you have to pay for it to play it. Blackout, you got to pay for it to play it. Battlefield 5, you're going to have to pay for it to play it, unless it's like a free download, which I'm pretty sure they're not going to fucking do. So
they should, though.
I mean, yeah, I agree. They should do that.
It should be separate from the main game.
Yeah,
like they would make a lot more money if they did it that way.
But Fortnite's successful because it was free. The only part you gotta buy is Save the World.
Guess what? They did what I just said. The Save the World is the PvE mode that was the original version of the game. You have to pay for that still. The Battle Royale has been free since it came out. They separated it from the PvE game and made it its own thing. And, I mean, they are where they are because of that. I guarantee you, if you had to buy Fortnite to get in, it would not be anywhere near what it is in terms of success.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like the Battle Royale genre should be a free-to-play genre because it's one of those genres where you can just pick up and play and then get off. It's more like an investment of how you want to play the game, and you want to buy skins and all this other shit like that. I just think that's how it should be from now on. Like MOBAs have taken that route. Like each MOBA I know now, Smite, Dota, League of Legends, all those are free to play. Yeah. And they make their money off the free to play elements of skins. Whether, we can, skins can be good or bad, that's up to the player to decide, but the base game is always there, and you don't have to buy skins to play these games and be successful at these games. Yeah.
Well, I do think, though, there is one thing with Battle Royale. When it's a first-person shooter,
the skins are useless.
The skins are... What's the point of the skins? There's no incentive... Because we play PUBG exclusively first-person. Yeah. And the skins... I can't see my character, so I don't care what it looks like. I could be naked. I really could give a shit.
PUBG is also like third person.
I know it is, but we play first person, so that nullifies the microtransactions to me. It's like the appeal of them. Yeah. The reason I buy them in Dota is because I always see my character, and I get to see my character do cool shit. In a first person shooter, that's not the case. So I never understood the appeal of the skins in fucking Overwatch.
Like, I didn't either.
I don't get why people buy them because you can't see your character. Like, you get to see them at the end of the game when they do their stupid little victory pose or whatever. Mm-hmm. And, that's really it, though. And, like, with a third-person shooter, I get it. You can see your character, so it makes sense. But so I think that's something... It doesn't seem... I seem to be in a very extreme minority with that opinion, though, because these games...
No, I agree with you.
But the microtransactions sell, though. Blizzard makes tons of money off of Overwatch microtransactions.
Because people are sheep, man.
Like, I don't get it.
I don't even know how to explain it, man. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it myself. Yeah. I don't feel. That's what I'm saying.
Appeal. We're an extreme minority on this topic. I think. Like.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I'm playing the game a lot, like if I'm playing Overwatch a lot.
Okay, if I like Overwatch a lot, I might put money into it because I want to support the developers, right?
Yeah,
that's the thing that I've done with microtransactions. But you bought the game. I know, but if you play it for 3 years, though. After launch, most games you pay $60 for. That's not the case.
Yeah. So but I don't buy. I guess it's just the appeal because I don't see the appeal of buying stuff from PUBG. Like when I put armor on, like it nullifies my skins.
Okay, it's almost a different topic. PUBG's its own special beast because their microtransactions are especially shit. So they're a little bit different than what Blizzard. Like Blizzard's. At least the cosmetics in Overwatch are good. Like, they look really good.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, PUBG's, they look like ass. Like, they look like trash. The cosmetics in PUBG for, like, a year and a half were fucking just clothes. Like oh, you can get a jean jacket.
Yeah,
and a baseball hat. Oh, you can wear a tie. Like, oh, okay. It's like $5 for that, though. Like... Yeah, okay, PUBG.
When I started playing League of Legends, I was like, I'm not about to buy a skin or whatever. But then I started seeing skins, and I started seeing how cool the other characters
Well, they change animations sometimes, too, in MOBAs.
And then I was like, you know what? I don't care. I'll buy it. And I don't regret my purchases from them,
Yeah, so. I don't with Dota, really.
Dota's skin system is fucking ridiculous, though. But I like it how you can resell your skins.
We'll talk about that at some point, because... I mentioned this, I think, when we talked about mobile games, that Dota is the one that... Dota and League are the ones that really started a lot of this on consoles and PC with the way these systems work. People don't really know that Dota is the one that kind of did the loot box thing first.
Yeah.
And they did it really predatory. Like, way worse than most of these other games did. Like, it was horrifying. And they still do it to this day, actually. It's really bad. They've improved it somewhat, but it is hyper predatory. And it always has been. So, yeah, I think that's definitely something I want to talk about at some point, because I think it's something that's under the radar. People don't talk about it a lot. They always blame Overwatch, right?
Yeah.
And Overwatch is a big reason, because that's the game that really, that's a game that really popped and got a ton of buzz. But I mean, Valve's sitting over here making shitloads of money off Dota microtransactions, and nobody seems to care. It's just, and like League was like third on that fucking free-to-play revenue thing from a few weeks ago that we read for last year.
Hey, we're chilling over
we're
here.
just chilling over here. And dude, I have a lot of issues with their microtransaction system as well.
But you know what? I'll be very pissed if I was those companies, right? And like EA stepped into the scene. I'm like, oh fuck, here comes EA.
They're gonna ruin it. I'm sure Riot and Valve are very happy that EA can't get a MOBA off the ground, or like hasn't really tried, because dude, man, what a they just ruin everything they touch. So the fact that they're in BR now, I'm concerned. I think BR is gonna die. Like, I think it's.
You think so? You think they're gonna do something to Apex?
Yeah, EA is gonna ruin it. They're gonna make it worse. They're gonna destroy the genre, because
they're like, hey, why don't you make like, you can get certain bullets. Or you
oh
can
my
spawn
god!
with bullets.
Oh my god! You can buy an extra ammo pack before you start the game for 10 cents. Fucking fuck, dude! Oh my god! That's the kind of shit they would do, though.
It's gonna be Star Wars Battlefront 2 all over.
It's fucking EA, man. That's just they are. EA is the worst, and their stock dropping, not a surprise. But then it went back up within a week. So. There you go.
Hey, man, we'll see, though. Everyone's calling Apex the Fortnite killer, but we'll see.
Yeah, I doubt it. I don't think so. I don't think Fortnite's going anywhere.
Yeah.
They develop... They're too... They are way too fast at developing things for that game to die. Like, they constantly update that game. Like, there's new shit. The game is unrecognizable to me from when I was playing it, like, a year ago.
You have no idea.
It's
when
insane.
I first started playing it, I'm like, what is
Dude,
this
I was
game?
just looking at the map, like an overhead view of the map.
They changed the map layout?
Yeah, there's like a snow section of the map now, and like
what?
There's all sorts of shit that's like not like the whole sections of the map are just gone. Like places that used to be there are just gone.
Wow.
Like they change the map all the time. So yeah, the game's. I don't think it's going anywhere.
I do like that because a lot of people. I was talking to one of our coworkers, and he said he used to play Fortnite a little bit, but he likes Apex because it's more like kind of for mature adults, like the young adults to older adults.
Yeah. Well, Fortnite's definitely like a younger skewed game, yeah. And no, I think it's good. It's smart of them because for people like me and you who don't play Fortnite, it's really jarring if we decided to go back to that game. How weird, like the map, the fact that the map is so different would be really hard for us to get back into the game because we don't know anything. We don't know how to play anymore. Like we don't know where to go, what are the good loot spots or anything like that. We'd have to relearn all that shit, and that's a hassle. And so it seems like they're really focused on retaining the audience they have, and obviously the audience they have is gigantic. So I think it makes sense for them.
Man.
Yeah, it makes sense for them. The fact that they're changing the map so much is a refreshing thing. They're changing the game, keeping it fresh for people. Yeah. So I think they're smart, actually, the way they're doing it.
They are very smart.
Yeah. So any other thoughts on Apex, EA?
Not really. I mean, I was hoping EA's empire would fall, but it looks like it bounced right back up.
I'm telling you, it's not going anywhere, dude. Till FIFA and Madden go away, the EA's here to stay.
Oh my god!
I didn't intend for that to rhyme, but it did. So, okay, moving on. This is just a not small, I guess, but just interesting thing I saw today.
It's not surprising.
No, it's not surprising at all. Red Dead Redemption 2 has sold 23 million units since it launched in October.
Fucking good. That's good.
That is fucking insane. Like, this is what EA wants, you know? This is what they want. This is why they're disappointed with 7.3 million units sold with Battlefield. Yeah. Because they see this and they're like, God, how can we get that? They're like salivating.
Yeah,
you know?
If you can make a good fucking game, then you can get it.
Yeah, that's what they don't get. Like, dude, the way EA thinks, they're going to be like, okay, we need to make a cowboy game that's open world, and it has battle royale mode.
Tons of microtransactions.
And microtransactions, and we'll go. You know, it's like, no, No, dude, that's not why Red Dead Redemption 2 sold 23 million
You cannot
units.
tell EA that. You
I
just
know.
can't tell them
There's
that, man.
Whatever. Anyways, we're not talking about EA.
So what about this old school RPG, CRPG?
So moving on, this is another story I saw today that piqued my interest. I don't know if you've ever played any of these games.
I have, you bastard.
You have?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Well, I'm asking because I never really have. So.
Oh, you never played like Baldur's Gate?
No, not really. So, Beamdog and Skybound have announced that they are going to be releasing a bunch of old school CRPGs on consoles this year. They didn't announce which consoles, but I would bet all of them: Xbox One, PS4, and even Switch. I mean, these games are old. They're not
perfect for the Switch.
They're not. Yeah, they're not demanding at all. So I imagine they would probably be on all of them. So it's going to be Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Baldur's Gate. Hold on a second here. Baldur's Gate. Siege of Dragonspear, which released in 2016, actually. Icewind Dale, Neverwinter Nights, and Planescape Torment, which are all really, really well-loved old CRPGs. I've played a couple of these, but I've never gotten deep into any of them. It's really been more of like a 4 or 5 hours I played, and then I kind of fell off.
Yeah, I was heavy into Baldur's Gate. And the reason why I'm excited for these games to come back, I mean, it's going to be... First of all, it's going to be nostalgic for me and other players, but I'm really interested in seeing what the newer generation thinks of these games and the choices that you can make. I think that's really going to
They're going to hate them.
I don't think they're going to hate it. I think they're going to love it. I think they're going to love the choices that you can make, the banter between all.
They're going to be surprised that you can play games like this.
Yeah, they're going to be surprised that your teammates have a voice, or each thing you do in the world makes a difference. And they're like, man, this game was made 20 years ago. Like, I can't believe this. And these are the games that a lot of people want, and they try to modernize it with games like Dragon Age and games
Pillars
like
of Eternity,
Pillars of Eternity, Divinity, and even like modern games like Mass Effect and Wasteland.
Yeah.
So I feel like these games will come back, and if more people had access to them, they will demand more.
God forbid Fallout.
Oh, that's not even me started.
Oh, I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of sad. Like Fallout's not on this list. Obviously, that's owned by Bethesda, so they would do this themselves.
I mean, if these games sell well, maybe Bethesda would be like, hey, well,
that'd be interesting. Yeah, 1 and 2 on a disc together. Like the thing is, I'm excited about this because what they didn't announce this, but what I want is that they release all these games together in one package.
Yeah, in
like a 6-game package, and you can buy them all for like $50 or $60 on one cartridge or disc or whatever. And then they would release them separately as well, though, for like $10 or $15 a piece.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. I think that would be a really smart way to do this. And I would buy the one that has all of them because I want to play these games. Like, I've played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 briefly. I've also played a little bit of Neverwinter Nights.
Yeah, I don't want to sit on my computer and play them, but I
that's
want to play
the
them
thing.
portable.
Yeah, I don't really want to play them on my computer anymore. But on the Switch, yeah, I'm in, dude. Like, I'd do that.
I mean, they somehow managed to get Knights of the Old Republic on mobile, and I do play that game a lot still. So, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
My thing is they need to make sure, because Pillars of Eternity is like these games. It's kind of a spiritual successor to them. And I played that on PS4, and dude, by the end of my playthrough of that game, I couldn't fucking stand the loading times. They were just heinous. Like, the amount of loading there was. Anytime you walked into a building, there was a load screen. Anytime you walked outside, there was a load screen. If you went into a cave, there was a load screen.
This is on your PS4 Pro, right?
Yes, this is on my PS4 Pro. And guess what? The loads, every time you loaded, it took like a minute to a minute and a half. And it just derailed the gameplay so much. So I really hope that these aren't like that. I mean, they shouldn't be. They're old games, but I am concerned about that on the Switch, though, a little bit, just a tad. So
I think the Switch can be able to handle it. But,
we'll see. Yeah. I mean, it should be able to, for sure. But,
yeah, it definitely should be.
So I'm looking forward to those. They didn't announce a date or anything like that, but they should be coming this year. So I'll be looking out for that. All right, next story is Sony. So we don't cover like the PS Plus and the Games with Gold games, generally speaking, on this show, but this is a interesting point of note. Is kind of an important marking point for PS Plus. Is that this month PS Plus? This is going to be the last month for PS Plus where they're going to be giving away PS3 and Vita games for free with PS Plus. So it's just going to be PS4 and PSVR going forward.
PS fucking VR.
The games were, it was MGS4, I believe, on on PS4. I don't remember the other games. They weren't ones that were.
I mean,
super
are we going to be
me.
able to get backwards compatibility with these PS3 games? You know,
I don't know. I would hope so, but I think the thing is this kind of marks that we're starting to get to the transition point for next gen.
Yeah, for the PS5.
And I will say the list of games was really disappointing. Like they could have done something cool with this, where they really did a huge send off for both of these consoles.
Bro,
and
they hate the Vita.
Giving away like 10 games or something, or a bunch of the first party games for both of them.
They hate the Vita, man.
This is my thing with Sony, is that that right now they don't have to do anything that I just said because they're winning.
They're
right?
on top, yeah.
But the fact that they don't just shows that they are resting on their laurels. Like they're not trying to do cool stuff for their fans. Like they're just kind of there, and it's like whatever, man. So I don't know. I was disappointed in that. I'm not surprised from it. I don't expect much more from Sony at this point. This is what they're doing is what I expect them to do. They're not gonna try until they have to. You know.
Well, I feel like some heat's gonna be coming. Some heat's coming.
Yeah, I know.
Some heat's coming from other companies.
We're going to be talking about this in a few, but Microsoft's doing some interesting shit, man, and they're really putting the pressure on Sony. So, okay, moving on. Fortnite. Back to Fortnite real quick. There, a few months ago, last year, I think it was in July or June. It was around the time Fortnite released on Switch, actually, after E3.
Yeah.
Where people started playing it and they realized they couldn't play with their account because they had played on PS4. And Sony, they weren't doing the crossplay thing, and there was some fine print on the user agreement that if you played on PS4, your account couldn't be used on any other device, which obviously is trash. But that has now seemingly come to an end.
Thank God. Epic
has released a tool that allows you to merge your console accounts, which is nice to see that finally Sony's playing some fucking ball.
I know this is not in the same realm, but it kind of is. So Epic had to create a tool for them to do that. Why the fuck can Sony create a tool to fucking change my fucking name on PSN?
I mean, that's coming. Hey, man, they teased it. It's coming, I think, in a couple months. So it's just going to delete all of your DLC from before a certain date and all of your trophies from before a certain date.
Oh, my God.
Because fuck you.
That's so dumb.
Oh, man, I know. It's pretty bad. But this was from Eurogamer. In the article, it mentions, quote, there are a couple of caveats to the merge tool. However, for now at least, accounts eligible for merging, quote, must have played on either Xbox One or Switch and the other on PS4 before September 28th, 2018. So that kind of sucks. As the feature was created to solve issues with unlinking PlayStation accounts from Epic accounts. So that's kind of a unfortunate thing, but at least it's there now. You can play on multiple platforms. It's
pretty much just Sony at this point. They feel like they're on top. I mean, I guess I understand because they are on top. They don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
But I feel like they should still play ball. That'll get a lot of people in their court.
They haven't made this like a unilateral thing either. This is only with certain games. It's like this. It's Fortnite. I think Rocket League is another one that has crossplay as well. There's only a small handful though.
Yeah.
There was a developer I saw on Twitter this week that was complaining about they weren't able to, like, Sony's not approving them to do crossplay. So until that happens, they can't do it, which is bullshit.
I think it's Apex.
Is it Apex?
I think it's Apex.
Is it Apex?
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I think Apex wants to do crossplay in the future.
Yeah.
And they said they have to talk to Sony because they they just don't want it to be Xbox and PC. They want everyone to be able to play with each other.
Yeah. So hopefully Sony gets on board because it's stupid. I mean, we're at a point where it's just let people play together. I mean, given what we're about to talk about with Microsoft, like, get with the times, Sony. Like, you don't have to be so draconian with the way you approach other businesses that are...
They're going to have to work harder.
Yeah.
And I think that's what scares them because Microsoft is bringing out a lot of first-party stuff. But we can talk about that later. Yeah. But, yeah.
Okay. So, our last news story is it's about GameStop. They also had an earnings call this week that talked about their third quarter.
Jesus Christ.
And it was fucking bad. They had a $400 million loss in the third quarter, and that was with the sale of Spring Wireless for $700 million. So if they hadn't made that sale, they would have lost over $1 billion fucking dollars. I think we're seeing the beginning of the end for this company. I think GameStop's days are numbered, man.
I don't want to see them go, but then again, they buried themselves.
They did bury themselves. They didn't adapt with the times. They tried to fight digital too hard, and they relied way too much. They
used games.
Yeah, they hinged their business on something that wasn't going to last forever.
Yeah,
you know, and they didn't have the foresight to pivot in time. And I mean, I know I don't go there. They don't offer me anything that I can't get elsewhere.
I mean, one can argue that they started the whole reason why Microsoft was about to do a DMR thing, because you remember publishers were like Sony and Microsoft and other publishers were
they were sick of the used game thing. Yeah.
And I remember at one point, even on the 7th generation. We're in the 7th, all right, or the 8th. We're in the 8th generation.
The 8th, yeah.
Yeah, so the 7th generation, I remember at one point certain games that you bought from like EA or THQ or anything like that, you had to have a code to play the game once you bought it used. You had to pay like $10.
That was at the end of the PS3, Xbox 360 generation. Where they were putting in multiplayer passes or whatever, so that you could if you bought the game used, if you didn't have that pass, you had to pay like $15 to play online or whatever, which was just obnoxious and absurd. That shit died really quickly, but I mean, I'm not surprised. It was going to come at some point. I imagine we're going to start seeing them closing stores within the next 6 months to a year probably, and then I mean, they'll survive for a while, but I just don't know how long unless they do something miraculous, you know?
Yeah, but, I mean, because I don't know, man.
It's just it's kind of a sad end to an era, man.
Actually, you know, I wanted to talk about, like, I had an experience at GameStop the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and it wasn't a good one. So this kind of ties in right with that, because I was going to get my Division beta, and I was just sitting. There was a couple in front of me. I don't know what the hell they were doing, but the lady was sitting there at the counter. It was two representatives in the store. Yeah. One representative was just over there, like, shelving, I guess. I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah, but they were organizing the games.
Yeah, okay, organizing the games. Yeah. And the lady was handling the two customers that were in front of me. So I don't know if she was, like, you know, doing, like, what do you call them, returns and stuff like that, trying to get money and store credit so they can buy another game. I don't know. But whatever it did, it took her about 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah. I'm standing in line for about 10 or 15 minutes. The other guy is just sitting over there.
Yeah.
I'm going to
ignoring you.
Yeah, and then he decides to come over and like, I can help you over here. So by this time, I'm easily annoyed. I'm like, I just want to put $10 down on Division.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, well, I see that, you know, this is not a third, you know, you missed $30. I'm like, bro, I wanted to tell him to shut the fuck up. I've been waiting in line for 15 minutes. Bro, I don't care about your rewards. I don't care about
the credit card.
I don't care about the credit card. Just give me the goddamn shit and let me go.
That's what's annoying about them, dude. It's like every time I go there, they always have the stupid spiel of, do you want to re-up your Power Up rewards? Do you want the credit card? Do you want this and this? Do you want to pre-order any games?
And to be honest, the Power Up rewards don't even do anything besides use games. Dude, and I don't buy used games no more.
This is like, they're like the EA of retailers. Because they dude, the thing is like, I don't want to be in your store. I just want to buy the game and go home and play it. I don't want to be in your store listening to your employees ask me 15 fucking questions. Like, and dude, have you ever gone into a GameStop on Black Friday?
No.
Like, have you ever done that?
I have. Yeah, it's terrible.
It's a fucking nightmare. Like, the line is out the door, generally, and they have, like, 3 registers. And their transactions take, like, even a simple transaction of just buying a single game takes, like, 5 minutes because of all the shit they ask you, you know? It's like, they can't just say, like, hey, okay, your total's 60 whatever, and just swipe your card, you know. But then there's the stupid survey they want you to do afterwards too. It's just like it's obnoxious. It's really obnoxious.
It was just the customer service, like, to me.
Well, that too. Yeah,
that was just like, I understand. I haven't worked in retail, but I have worked on, like, you know, phones and stuff like that, where you got to do a spill. You have to do this script before this and that and third. So I understand that. So I'm not giving them any flack about that, even though it's fucking annoying. Like, bro, you see me there. Like, you see me standing there. Like, why not just go to the other register, man? Like, you see her struggling with these 2 customers.
Yeah.
who obviously have a shit ton of returns, and they're trying to get store
Well,
credit.
yeah, I've done trade-ins before. And it destroys the line. Because they have like 2 people. So
and so you see these people there, and bro, just go and just do what you need to do. And like another thing I don't like is that they don't hire people who are customer friendly. I would say, like, who have good rapport skills. You know?
Yeah, I know where you're coming from, but I mean, I've read a lot about GameStop online, and like from former employees or people who are current employees, like it sounds like working for that company is trash. Like they sound like a company that is just not. They treat their employees like crap. They pay them like shit. They don't give them any commissions or anything like that. Like they give them no incentives to actually do their job well. Okay. Like it's not a good place to work, and they base your job performance on how many fucking power up rewards things you sell and how many credit cards you sign people up for. Yeah, it's really bad. So I can understand where the people like aren't super motivated to work there. I mean, that's what the example of what you're talking about is just like. I mean, it's probably a guy who's like fucking hates his job and like is having a bad day and just doesn't want to deal with customers. Yeah. But the nature of working at a GameStop, there's only like 2 of you, so yeah, you have to work with customers sometimes. So I get it. I've worked in retail before, and I had moments like that where you're like, God, I just want to go hide in the bathroom or like go into the break room for 3 hours and not do anything, but because the job is not fun, but. Yeah, so it's like GameStop doesn't do a good job of giving their employees, like making their employees feel like it's fun to be at work, you know? Yeah. So I get it. Like I get why that stuff happens, but the thing is that it creates an environment where I don't want to go to their store, you know? Because you see people who don't enjoy their job, they don't want to help you, and then when they finally do help you, you spend 5 minutes at the register when you could be out in 30 seconds because they got this whole stupid fucking spiel that they don't want to say, you don't want to listen to, and, you know, it's like you say no to everything anyways. Yeah, you know, when I go there, I get annoyed when I go there because I'm just like, God, I'm going to be here for like 20 minutes. Just to get one game. When I could like literally walk into a Target, grab the game, buy it, and I'm out in like 5, you know? Yeah. And it's like Target's like 35 times the size of a GameStop too. That includes me walking from my car to the electronics sections, out the door, back to my car.
The only
reason
I go to GameStop is because it's right there before the Target. Honestly,
yeah.
So I mean,
I don't buy my games there anymore. Like I don't. I haven't. The last thing I purchased there it was on Black Friday. I think I got a headset there because they had like a good deal on a headset I wanted.
Okay. I mean, I bought my Switch from there, but yeah. I mean,
yeah, I have bought a lot of my hardware from them. Honestly, because I do trade-ins a lot of the time for hardware. That's really the only time, though, if I'm trading games in.
I mean, they're a great place to go for, you know, stuff like that. But, yeah, unfortunately, they're not going to survive. I don't see them surviving in 2020.
I think in 5 years, they could be gone. Like, it seems like the writing's been on the wall with that for a long time. Yeah. And this is kind of confirming that they're in trouble.
Unless they get like a new CEO and then he starts she starts changing everything, like you said, completely changing
changes
everything.
The culture, revitalizes the workforce, or just their offerings too as a company. You know? Yeah. Because I feel like something they should have done a long time ago has really been a place to congregate. You know, to get people to come in just to play. You know, play games.
Yeah, it'd be like a little hub or something like that.
Yeah, almost like a cafe. You know how comic book stores, they always have like tables for people to play and stuff, and it's a place people go to play board games. Yeah. Right? I feel like GameStop should have done that for video games, but they never have, you know? So it's
it should be like and then that can turn into like a safe place for like some gamers and stuff like that.
Yeah, and people will want to buy stuff. And,
because they'll always be there, you know?
If you let people like try games too and stuff, that would be kind of cool, right? But,
I mean, they would have to. I think they can still do that. They just have to downsize a lot, but they can still do it with certain stores that have a lot of foot traffic. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the thing is, their footprint is fucking tiny, though. That's their problem. Is like, their footprint's so small, they don't have room to do what I'm talking about. You know,
like it's a lot of game shops though or other like mom and pop game shops that host, you know, tournaments and stuff like that. So they can do stuff like that, like host tournaments and things of that nature. Because I shouldn't have to go to like a Microsoft store to go to a League of Legends tournament, whereas a GameStop down the street, I should go to the League of Legends tournament right down the street. So, I mean, but they're not going to listen. They're dying, so unfortunately.
No, I mean, they were trying to sell themselves too, and they stopped because I think it was, what was the wording? It was like, they couldn't find, they would not have been able to come to terms that were equitably viable Like that.
Oh, so no one wanted to buy them at the price they were wanting.
Yeah, exactly. Which is that's really not good. So they could be like, this really feels like the beginning of the end. So. Oh well, we'll continue to monitor and we'll see kind of what happens. So that is it for news. So on to the game releases this week. Oh boy, a lot of Nintendo Switch games again.
Let's just do some of the main games that look good.
Nah, man, I'm gonna read them all.
All?
I'm committing to reading all of these. Okay, so The Liar Princess and the Blind Prince on Nintendo Switch, The King's Bird on Nintendo Switch, Iron Cryptical on Nintendo Switch, Ollie Ollie Switch Stance on Nintendo Switch, Love on Nintendo Switch, Tokyo School Life on Nintendo Switch, Strikey Sisters on Nintendo Switch, Neko Para Volume 2 on Nintendo Switch, Cinders on Nintendo Switch, Crackdown 3 on Xbox One and PC, Metro Exodus on Xbox One, PS4, and PC, DreamWorks Dragons Dawn of New Riders on Nintendo Switch, Jump Force on PC, Xbox One, and PS4, and then Far Cry New Dawn on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. I'm actually really surprised by the end of that. There's a lot of actually kind of big games coming out this week. I'm not paying attention to any of these. I don't really care about any of them, but I know they're. I know
definitely getting Metro Exodus.
Like Crackdown 3, that game's been like in development hell for years, right?
I'm interested to see how it's going to turn out. I've never been a Crackdown fan. The only reason I played the first one, I think, or the second one, was because of the Halo beta that came with it.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
But apparently that got a lot of fans onto it and they loved the game. Mm-hmm. The only game I'm looking forward to is Metro Exodus. I know a lot of anime fans in my circle are looking for the Jump Force, and I don't know why the games look terrible to me.
Oh man, I don't know. I haven't really looked at it.
It looks like a fucking clone of a Ninja Storm, but with like realistic graphics.
Really? Yeah. And all these anime characters.
Yeah, that's
and then Far Cry New Dawn as well, which is basically like a stopgap game before the next Far Cry.
Yeah, they always do that with their Far Cry games.
Yeah, like Primal, they did it with that game. So is Exodus really the only one you're gonna probably check out?
Yeah, that's the only one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm not planning on playing any of these this week.
Because even a coworker of ours is like, hey, if I don't beat Kingdom Hearts before this game comes out, Kingdom Hearts not getting beaten.
Fair enough. I mean, the theme continues to be why there's so many games coming out on Switch every week. Oh my god, there was only like 12 or 10 this week, but man, it's just, come on, dude. Like, how are all these games making money? They can't be. They can't be,
man. People love.
They can't be. They cannot be making money.
Nintendo fanboys love supporting the Switch, and they will buy any game they can.
So, do you think there's people that literally buy all these, every single one of them?
Yes, I do. Because some of them are like $5 or $10. They're not that much.
Yeah.
So I do think people buy these games. Some of them probably don't play them, but like a lot of people play that Dead Cells game. Yeah, and that's only like $15.
Well, that one looks good though.
Yeah.
I mean, not to disparage these other games, but yeah, that game actually, like, I want to play it. I have it on my list as a game I want to play. So it looked pretty fun to me. But yeah, I mean, we're kind of in the year now, right? Like, this is like Kingdom Hearts was the first like big release. But now we're kind of getting to the point where we're starting to get some games now. You know?
I'm gonna be honest, man. That game kind of killed my hype for a lot of other games. Like, not in the sense of like.
Is that fair though? Come on,
it's
man.
not fair. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's not fair. But it's like when I played that game, I was just
ruined video games for you.
And you know what's crazy? I de-hyped myself for this game.
I know, dude. I'm in the same boat. I was feeling really apathetic today, like, because I wasn't at work today, so I was off all day. And I just didn't want to play Kingdom Hearts. I was just sitting there. I was like, man, I don't wanna.
Bro, it's not fun.
It's just not. I don't know what else to say at this point.
We'll talk about it next week.
I know. We just keep trashing this game, man. We're such like fucking haters for it.
No, we're not hater realists.
I know.
Fucking realists.
I know, but people are gonna call us haters. But all right, that's it for new games. So moving on, our last topic of discussion for this week is actually another news story, but this one was really interesting to me. From the perspective of Microsoft's strategy. So there was a basically announcement of some of the GDC conferences that are going to happen, or presentations that are going to happen at GDC next month.
Yeah.
And one of them was that Xbox Live is coming to Nintendo Switch, iOS.
This is my favorite.
Sorry, it's ad, guys.
God damn it. I thought you were playing like a soundboard thing.
No.
Clean it up, Montrell. So Xbox Live's coming to Nintendo Switch, iOS, Android, which we didn't get any. There's no specific information on this. It's literally just a title.
So we're
of
speculating
a
right
presentation.
now.
So this is all going to be speculation. However, they can't say it more plainly than that, right? Like, they're coming to Switch. Like, it's coming to Switch, iOS, and Android. iOS and Android I'm not as crazy about.
Yeah, I'm not too crazy
but
about that.
Switch, dude, is like, what? And
they have the money.
I was thinking about it, though. I was thinking about this because
we have the technology.
Nintendo and Microsoft have been weirdly
buddy
since like E3 last year.
Yeah. When
Fortnite came out and they were like making fun of Sony because they're not doing crossplay or whatever. And I actually think this will really it makes sense because when you think about it.
What if we get Master Chief as a
Smash Bros. character?
Yeah.
I mean, I was telling you this. I think that's a real possibility. Like, I've thought that was a real possibility. Banjo-Kazooie.
Yes.
That seems obvious at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like, for a Season 2 run of DLC for Smash. But the main thing, though, that I was thinking about that really makes sense is that Nintendo doesn't have any kind of achievement system on Switch. And they've never had one. And there was... People thought maybe that could be a thing for Switch, and it didn't happen. And... This, it gives it to them, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can just integrate achievements into Switch games, right?
Not only that, but it kind of further... if I'm looking at this correctly, you got the friends list and stuff like that.
Yep, friends list, yep.
Maybe we can get some kind of party system inside the Switch now.
That is another thing, yeah, because their mobile offering for their party chat and online is fucking awful, dude. And this might give them a way to just get rid of it. They don't even have to worry about it. Like, Microsoft will just take care of it for them, you know? Because, we don't know the extent of how much of Xbox Live is going to get integrated into Switch. Will it go that deep? Will you be able to do chat rooms and parties? And like, it says your friends. Like, your friends are going to be able to be taken with you as well. So I would imagine the chat functionality would be there, right?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Could this extend to games, too? Like, certain games, like Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, could they be on Switch now, potentially? Because, those are old Nintendo games that Microsoft...
I wouldn't see why they wouldn't hold that back, you know?
Yeah, and it's a natural... Dude, if I could play Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie on Switch, I'm in. I'm buying them, dude.
Yeah, they got the rare collection. Not only that, but
exactly.
We could probably get another, like a remake of 007 or just port it over to Nintendo. Perfect Dark and stuff like that, so...
Yeah, all those old rare games, like Jet Force Gemini and stuff like that.
Yeah,
dude, like it... That seems...
Because those games are perfect for portable. Like, at this
They're
point...
perfect for portable, and they have history on Nintendo platforms.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some people who want to play it, like you and me, right?
Yeah, because I have the rare collection. It's just that sometimes I don't want to play them at home.
Yeah, and I don't want to buy an Xbox for that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't... Like,
I have an Xbox, but
I don't have one, so...
Yeah, I don't want to play them at home.
I want to play Banjo-Kazooie, but I don't have a way to play it. Really, because this would be a really good way for them to kind of maybe make a little bit more money. And would this? And the other thing I was thinking about is, could this go the other way? Could we see Nintendo games maybe on Xbox?
That's a stretch. It could happen.
No, I'm not talking about current releases like Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild. Yeah. But I'm thinking more. Like, I know this is a stretch because Virtual Console is not on Switch itself. But
okay.
Could you see maybe them putting Virtual Console on Xbox? Because, dude, it's a cash cow waiting to happen, in my opinion.
They have to know that.
There's tons of people who have history with Nintendo that don't play Switch.
A lot of moves make sense now that this came out, because Nintendo's been pulling a lot of stuff off the internet and everything like that. Yep. So what if they are giving all this information to Microsoft to integrate into their systems, like you said, and put a huge virtual library on there? We can possibly get GameCube games now.
Yeah, 100%. So there's a lot with this that intrigues me. This relationship between Microsoft and Nintendo is like really intriguing, and I think Sony needs to be kind of on edge because they're going to get left in the dust if they just continue to coast the way they have been.
Well, you already know what I think about the PS5. I think they're going to try to do the same thing, if not not as bad as Microsoft, but they're going to try to do something different, multimedia, not games focused. And
they can't. Man.
I think
they can't.
I think they are. I think they're stupid enough to try it again.
They can't, man. I just don't think they can do that because a lot of their company success nowadays relies on PlayStation.
Yeah.
And they can't tank the way they did at the beginning of the PS3 generation.
Yeah.
Like, they can't afford that to happen anymore, you know?
I mean, well, they're going to have to do something because... And, I mean, Sony always... Their first-party studios always blows out the water with their exclusives. But they're going to have to... I think they're scared because they're going to have to rely on those first-party exclusives more. But... It's going to be good for us because Microsoft is going to be coming out with better... I mean, not better, but, first parties of their own.
Well, maybe better. Hopefully better.
Yeah.
I mean, for their sake, it hopefully should be better.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, and then with this right here, I mean, this is... I don't know what to expect from
these two companies are moving into the future, it feels like. Nintendo and Microsoft. They're doing things that are helping enrich their gameplay experience, like we were talking about last week, right?
Yeah.
This is a move that... It's like you're working with a competitor, right? Like Microsoft is putting and Nintendo too. The idea that Nintendo is gonna allow this is crazy to me, dude. Could you 5 years ago? Do you think this would ever have been a possibility? Ever?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Hell to the no.
Absolutely not, dude. So the fact that we're in a world now where Nintendo isn't threatened by letting a competing console's online infrastructure onto their platform, you know?
All right, so this is going to sound very conspiracy-ish, but I remember reading a Reddit thread, not a Reddit thread, 4chan thread on V.
Yeah.
Video games for 4chan.
Yeah.
And they were talking about 5 years ago when, both consoles were released or whatever. I mean, we're already in the 8th generation and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. And Sony's like just blowing everybody out the water. Just fucking everybody over. Yeah. So someone said like, hey, don't be surprised, guys, if you see into the next 3 or 4 years that Microsoft and Nintendo come together. Because it was around when the Rare collection got really hot, and they were like, they want more collections. And it was just it was like a blog or a news article that was like, hey, wouldn't it be crazy if Nintendo and Microsoft worked together to get more stuff out? Because they did something with each other around that time as well. Because Microsoft was trying to get out that water, and Phil was there, and he was talking about Nintendo a lot. Like, he was talking about Nintendo, like, I love Nintendo games, blah, blah. I played Mario all the time.
Well, he seems to have a history with Nintendo, too, in terms of, like, his own fandom as a gamer. So,
I mean, I wonder, has this been in the works for years?
I'm sure it has. I'm sure they've been going back and forth. And Nintendo's a lot more open with working with other companies than they were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
They seem to have realized that they can't do everything on their own. Like, they can't make themselves succeed by themselves. Like, they need other people to help them out. And it has paid dividends. Like, games like Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle and some of their other offerings from... I mean, dude, Smash Brothers is made by Namco Bandai. Like, the last two have been made by Namco.
And they both
were fucking incredible, right? And they've sold like crazy. So... I think Nintendo has become a lot more open to letting people work with their stuff. And this is smart because they seem to suck at creating a network infrastructure. And I think somebody internally finally maybe convinced the people that can make decisions that we shouldn't do this.
It's that newer generation.
Yeah.
Probably that.
We should just pack it in. Accept that we can't do this and let Microsoft handle it for us.
They let that pride go, man. Like,
yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that, dude. Like, I'm telling you, if Xbox Live's on Switch and it allows like chat functionality, like in-game chat with like microphone headsets and whatever, like, I'll download it and actually use it. I don't even have Xbox, and I will use it though. I have an Xbox account, but
it'd be crazy if I can talk to you on my live.
Yeah,
like if I'm on Xbox,
you're on Xbox,
and you're on Switch,
dude. That would be cool, right?
Yeah.
So. The thing is, like, when we play Switch games together, we use, like, Mumble, right, to play with each other because the Switch app is so bad. But if they allow a situation where I can just plug my headset in and play, talk to you on Switch with Xbox Live, I mean, I will download it if that's the case because I don't want to have to use my computer. That tethers me to my computer, right, when we're playing. Like, I can't leave my computer. Like, the Switch is a mobile platform, right? I want to be able to play it anywhere. So... there's a lot of interesting stuff that could come out of this, and
not only for the Switch. Let's think about from Microsoft's perspective, right? They can get a lot of exposure into the Japanese market now. With this.
Yeah, right. Because they could put potentially some of their games, maybe
on the Switch.
Certain games that make sense.
Yeah, certain
right?
games on the Switch, and expose it to the Japanese market because it's on a Japanese product.
Yep. Yeah,
and, I mean, this is like a shoe-in for them.
What hurts too? Like some people would say this is a bad idea, but why? What does it hurt to put your games on another platform and just make money off of it?
The only way I can see that this will hurt is if they try to do some weird shit, like some weird money grabbing shit. Yeah. But or they try to start shutting things down or something like that. Yeah. But I just can't see Nintendo letting that happen. Yeah. Or from Nintendo's perspective, from the Japanese market, they're like, you're working with a foreign company, we're not going to really support your product anymore. Yeah. But I don't think they're that close. I don't think the new generation of Japanese players are that close-minded anymore. Yeah. So I can honestly see that this can potentially, because I read an article last week saying, Microsoft is making a lot of moves to get Japanese developers and support.
They did. I mean, they purchased a lot of studios over in Japan.
So it makes sense that, and then we were thinking about it we're not even thinking about it from the iOS and the Android perspective. Those markets over there are huge in Japan. Yeah. So this can, and in the East in general. So this can potentially boost them up to Sony's rating as far as being a quality video game company. Yeah, so I think this is a win-win for both companies.
I agree, and it has really made me think about what are we going to get from them at E3 this year, because Sony's out. They're not doing a conference at all. Yeah, which I have thoughts on, but they're gonna be there basically alone because Nintendo hasn't been at E3 for years, and bless you, they do their directs at E3, but Microsoft's pretty much it. It's they're gonna be the only ones actually at the show with a conference. A lot of the other companies don't even do conferences within the show, so they're gonna be the main ones there for people coming in, like fans going to E3. I am starting to think we're going to get something real big from them this year.
And I know it's kind of presumptuous for me to say, but honestly, man, I really like that Phil Spencer guy.
I do too. I really like him, dude.
Yeah, I think he's very he is business focused, but he is for gamers because he's a gamer first.
The way he talks about games, he feels authentic and genuine. Yeah, I really, when he says things like I remember when he was talking last year at E3, he was saying that, and I imagine we're going to hear a lot of the same kind of rhetoric at GDC, is that he doesn't view the game market as he doesn't view Sony and Nintendo as competitors necessarily. He enjoys when they have success because that rises everybody, right? He thinks that's good for all gamers. When one of them does well, it's good for everybody.
Yeah, and I started seeing that's when you start seeing those tweets where they're like, "Hey, congratulations on this good game," or both companies are complimenting each other. 100%.
And Sony's become a lot more reticent recently, and they're becoming closed off, and they're not talking anymore. Yeah. They're not congratulating Microsoft when they have a good launch or anything like that. And Microsoft, and this move is exactly down that same line, right? They're helping each other. They're competitors, but Nintendo's smart in the sense that this is smart for Nintendo because I think they understand. They like to call the Switch a home console, but it's not a home console.
It's a portable console.
It's a portable that can pretend to be a whole that plays as a home console when you want to play on a TV, right? And I think what you're talking about is right. That I think a lot of the there must be some younger people finally starting to get some clout at Nintendo. Yeah. Because I think they understand that handheld is where Nintendo shines. It always has been. And their last home console success was the Wii, and that was not because it was a good console. It was because it was a fad that caught on. So their last successful home console was
GameCube. In my opinion.
No, that's not even true though. From a sales perspective, it was Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah,
the last one that actually sold well was Super Nintendo.
The 64 didn't sell that well either, right?
Yeah, so there's a 20-year period where their home console business was trash for the most part, and now we're at a point with the Switch where they're actually doing well again. But I think they understand. I think they're starting to understand their place in the market, and that Microsoft is not an enemy for them. They can benefit from working with them. I think
they know they have to get this. I mean, in their market, they're fighting with Sony in that Japanese market. Yes. And I'm assuming Sony is kind of dominating right now in certain areas. Yeah. And like you said, or like both of us said earlier, the young people are getting clout in Nintendo, and they're like, hey, you guys know how to make good games, but you don't know how to make a good console, in my opinion. Like, cause
it's true.
Yeah, because if you think about it, right, the GameCube.
The last one I liked was GameCube.
Yeah, but the gimmick was a small disc. But they weren't really thinking.
They had the fucking handle or whatever.
And they weren't thinking about, like, hey, maybe people want to put, like, DVDs in there. Maybe people want to put. You had to buy a whole separate thing for that.
Yep.
Like, with the Switch, in my opinion, the way they marketed it was like, hey, this is what it is. It's a game console first, but you can also take it on the go. But it's a portable game console. It's a portable home console, man. Mm-hmm. And like, it has good hardware, good tech. There isn't really any gimmick. There is a gimmick, but the gimmick is in the benefit of the consumer. It's not like a gimmick like the Wii, you know,
the waggle
that
ruined the games that was on the console. Yeah,
every game didn't have that motion shit. Like, it just wasn't there.
Yeah, like the Joy-Cons have some of that stuff, but games don't really care.
Yeah, exactly.
It seems like developers haven't really caught on to it, or
because I feel like. With Nintendo, they're like almost like Disney in a way with their IPs. Well, actually, I can't say that because Disney let anyone, fuck with their IPs. But like they're like really possessive, right? So I'm assuming back in the day, like the Wii U days and everything, to make a game on there, they're like, you gotta use the Wii controller, you gotta use the Wii, you gotta use this,
you gotta integrate motion,
you gotta integrate this, integrate that, and now they're like, hey guys. Just make a good game.
Yeah.
If you need to make this stuff, because I'm pretty sure the people there, the young people there, are like, hey, you gotta stop. You gotta let go of this pride that you have. Like, like even outside the Switch range, you got the Samus Returns, right? That was made by a third party company. That wasn't made by Nintendo.
Yeah.
And it's
a remake of one of their games.
Yeah, and it sold very well.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, yo, this game's really good.
Yeah.
And even the Metroid Prime game, that's being made by a third party company, Retro. Even though they worked with them before, it's still not made by the core Nintendo team.
I think they own Retro.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
but they're not an internal Nintendo team.
Yeah, okay.
It's just one of their first parties, like Naughty Dog would be for Sony or something like that. I'm pretty sure that's the case. They may be second party though. I'm not sure, but they don't make games for other companies. So
okay, and I mean, sure, you got games like Star Fox Zero that was made by Platinum Games that didn't do too well, but I'm pretty sure. Well, I tell you, I'm pretty sure they was like, hey, you gotta use this.
No, that was an example of what you're talking about, where they it feels like they forced Platinum to fucking keep motion controls as the only way you can play the game. And they, dude, despite everybody before that game coming out telling you, is there a normal way? Can you play
put a patch in there?
Can you play normally? Can you play without the motion controls? And the answer was always no. You have to use the gyro, and that game suffered for it. And maybe that was honestly, maybe that was the game that convinced them that we need to stop doing this, because
I know tons of people that are looking forward to Star Fox.
Dude, I was so excited when there was a new one coming out, and then when it came out and the fact that it was motion control only, I never played it. And I am terrible. A huge Star Fox fan.
Me too, man.
But I don't want to deal with that shit. Like, I don't want to play a shitty game because of the motion controls, the way the game controls. I just don't want to deal with that. So I didn't play it. So maybe that was the game. I don't know, because I'm thinking about some of the other games since then that have come out. There really aren't a lot that are gimmicky like that. You know? I mean, there's like 1-2 Switch, but they have that for all their consoles. That's like their technology showcase game or whatever. So I think we're in an interesting spot. I mean, back to E3 real quick. In terms of what Microsoft might do, I am starting to think they might announce their console at E3. Their next console, and I think it might come out this year.
The Xbox 2.
I'm thinking it might come out this year too, like in the fall.
Really?
Yeah. Why not?
They just released the X.
So that was like a year ago. By the time this new one comes out, it'll be 2 years since the X came out.
Oh, shit, you're right.
I think we might be looking at that situation, and why wouldn't they? They'd get a head start on Sony, right?
They did it before, though, too. Right?
They did that with the Xbox 360, and it worked.
They did it with the Xbox One. You remember the Xbox One was revealed before the PS4?
No, they came out within a week of each other.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Xbox One was revealed after the PS4, actually.
Really?
It came out a week before the PS4.
Oh, no, they didn't show the design of it. That's what it was. Yeah. I remember they announced it, but they never showed the design of the console.
Yeah. Okay. So I could see this being a situation where they want to get out to market quickly, early. And also the time frame on all of the studios they bought. I would imagine they were working on games for Microsoft prior to them announcing the purchase.
Yeah.
So I could see there being some games ready to go for the launch from some of those first parties. And even if they're not, they have an entire year to get them out before Sony's device is coming. Because I'm pretty sure at this point we're getting PS5 in 2020.
Yeah, and I can tell, like, especially, like, just thinking about Halo, like, they didn't talk too much about it.
No.
I feel like that's going to be, like...
It's going to be a launch game, I think.
Yeah, that Halo Infinity thing.
I mean, and they're just a lot of the moves they're doing feel like they're building up to that.
Yeah.
Like, it really feels like... Because if you wait another year... You know, it just doesn't feel like the timing is right for a lot of this stuff.
Because you know what? They've been really quiet. I haven't heard any...
Yeah, in terms of their game announcements and stuff, yeah, they've been real quiet. Yeah, they have been. They've been making a lot of moves outside of their games, with this and the Game Pass and some of the other stuff they've been doing. So, I don't know.
And that's why I don't give... Like, someone was getting upset with me because I was giving EA shit for their subscriber service, but not Microsoft. And they're like, well, you know, you kind of always been a Microsoft fanboy. And I'm like, not really, but I'm like, their subscriber service is for gamers.
It's $10 a month.
And I get every game, even their new release games.
Yeah, it's $120 a year, and you get a shitload of games for included in it. And it includes new first-party games. $120 a year for that.
You download it. You don't stream it.
That's two games worth of cost. 2 games for that. Like, that's crazy. If they put all their games on Game Pass, like... Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you. I've been a Sony guy for a long time.
Okay.
I've been a Nintendo guy my whole life.
Yeah.
I briefly played Xbox during the 360 generation for about 2 years, and then I got rid of my Xbox because none of the games they've had have ever really appealed to me. They're first-party games.
Okay.
There's been a small handful, like Sunset Overdrive, that kind of piqued my interest, but it wasn't enough to make me go buy a console.
Yeah.
Right? I'm in a situation now where if they have a console release this year and they have games that are appealing to me, like that are games I want to play, some exclusives, and they have some studios that I really like, Obsidian, Team Ninja, or not Team Ninja,
Ninja Theory.
Ninja Theory, sorry, yeah, Ninja Theory, and then this new company, The Initiative, that they have. This seems like they're like Naughty Dog-esque kind of company.
Yeah.
For them, like, dude, if they all have games that look really cool and are games I want to play, I could be looking at a situation where I might buy this next Xbox. Like, I have had no interest in the Xbox One.
Well, I'm the complete opposite of you. I've been like a Microsoft fan since since the OG Xbox. I mean, I had all the consoles before. I was a Sony 2 PlayStation fanboy for a minute.
Yeah.
OG Xbox kind of like stole my heart. I don't even know why that console
switched to 360 though. When
360 came out, that's when I was like, yo, this is my console. This is my main console. I didn't buy a PS3 until later on into the generation.
Yep.
But I did have a Wii.
Okay.
And
I think we all had a Wii.
Yeah. I enjoyed my
160 million of those sold, so I think we all had a Wii.
Yeah, I had a Wii, and I primarily played that for Monster Hunter Tri.
And Mario Galaxy. There's a few games. There's a few gems. There's a few gems.
So, I mean, I played it for that and Xenoblade. But I played it for that and everything. And I jumped on board. Even when the Xbox One launched, I was kind of against it. And then when they changed their policies over, I bought it. I'm like, okay, they changed it. We spoke with our wallets and we spoke with everything else.
Yep.
And then I bought me a PS4. I love my PS4 now.
Yeah. It's a great console.
Yeah, the first party games are amazing on it.
Yeah.
But I always had that little, spot in my heart for Xbox.
Well, so I think a lot of the reason you play PS4 now too is probably because a lot of your friends, me and 100%. Jed and a lot of the people have PS4s.
Yeah.
I think if you didn't know any of us, I feel like you're the kind, because this is I'm the opposite. I feel like is that if I have both of them, I'm going to play most games on PS5.
Yeah.
And any exclusives, obviously, I'll play on Xbox. But I feel like you're the opposite, where if you didn't know us, you would probably play a lot of your non-exclusives on Xbox.
Yes.
And then you just play your PS4 exclusives on PS4, of course.
Correct, yes.
Right. Yeah, so that's the situation I'm in. If the exclusives are good, I will buy the console. I'm not going to play like Assassin's Creed or anything on there, probably. But, I mean, I don't know. Actually, to be honest, dude, I do like their controller a lot, so maybe. I could see myself maybe playing some of those games on Xbox, but I have a really deep tie to Sony with the trophies and everything, so I don't know if I'd be able to mentally get there, but...
And I don't know if this is a PR stunt by Microsoft. I don't really fucking care at this point, but... Yeah. I really appreciate that they came out with that controller for like disabled and handicapped kids.
Dude, that's another thing I was talking about. Yeah, that shit
really like touched my heart.
No,
man.
This is what I was talking about with Spencer though, Phil Spencer. Like he's the one getting all this stuff. Like he's the one deciding for them to do all this stuff, right? And like that. Okay, maybe it is a PR stunt, but it's still cool though. They did it though. It's like a real thing they did, and it. I mean, people are using it, you know?
Yeah, and they have, like, I mean, they play it and they love it. And you talk to those kids and they're like, yo, I can finally play a video game.
And it's
like,
cool, man.
It's so sweet.
And I will say, to Sony's credit, a lot of their studios actually make their games so that people like that can play.
Oh, really?
Like, Naughty Dog talks about how they have a mode for that in a lot of their games. Like, if you go play Uncharted or Last of Us, they have modes specifically for... like handicapped people to play. So that it's kind of a cool thing too. Sony itself doesn't have anything like that, but a lot of their studios are cognizant of that stuff.
Yeah, because I think they said, like, to give Sony credit, I think they said that controller will be compatible with their PS4 if I recall. Okay. I'm not sure though. I gotta look that up, but I know when that controller came out, it was revolutionary.
You're talking about this Microsoft one.
Yeah.
Okay.
When that controller came out, it was revolutionary.
That's cool. Yeah.
And I was just mind blown by how they did it. And
yeah, and it's cool. So I appreciate Microsoft, man. Like I think if you had heard me talk about them a few years ago, I would have been a lot more haterish. Yeah, but ever since Phil Spencer has taken over, it just seems like they make decisions that are very gamer conscious, and
they need to make that move. In my opinion.
Yeah, well, okay. So there's like an ebb and flow with this, though. Is like. Sony was dominating in the PS2, right? They just absolutely destroyed everybody. It wasn't even a contest. Like you think the PS4 is dominating, you've seen nothing. The PS2 was just gone. It wasn't even in the same fucking galaxy as the other consoles.
The game library for the PS2 was fucking
insane.
Ridiculous.
Everybody was on board with Sony. Fucking everybody. Nintendo lost all their third-party support in that generation. It was insane. Yeah. And Microsoft was sitting there struggling to get people to make games for their fucking console. Yeah. You know? And then they had this giant, stupid controller that was obnoxious as hell.
Then they changed it. But at first they had that giant controller.
So, obviously, Sony was... high and mighty. They were so full of themselves or whatever, and they came out with that infamous E3 conference where you'll get a second job to buy our console, and they announced the PS3 is $600
I still can't
or whatever.
Believe they said that
and
shit.
It was unbelievable. Yeah. And then Microsoft had already had the Xbox out for a year at that point when PS3 came out, and they were doing pretty well.
And it wasn't expensive at all.
Yeah,
like 360 was not expensive.
No, it was only $350 or $400.
Yeah,
it was $400 and $500, wasn't it?
Yeah, $400. Yeah, $400, $500. Then they dropped it when the PS3 was announced. They dropped it an extra $100 to put the nail in the coffin.
And it worked. It worked though. That generation, they came back. Eventually, Sony turned it around because the generation was super long. It was 7 years.
Oh yeah, that was
7 or 8 years long, and the Sony eventually turned it around where they became the company that was what we were perceiving Microsoft to be right now. Yeah. Where they were the one that was very gamer focused, gamer conscious. They were the cool one. They were the one on Twitter congratulating Microsoft when they had a good thing. Like they were very they were interacting with their fans a lot and stuff like that, and they turned things around. Eventually, the PS3 overtook the 360. It has sold more than the 360. Yeah. But then the PS4 generation got announced, and those consoles, and we all remember Don Matrick and the fucking E3 conference where they had the DRM, and we want this to be an entertainment center, and then Sony comes out and is like, this is how you share your games, and they just hand the guy the fucking disc or whatever. We all remember that. So we're in a situation now, I feel like, very similar to where we were the last two generations, where Sony is where Sony was at the end of the PS2 generation, where they're the one that kicked ass. Everybody loves them. They're high and mighty, full of themselves. And where Microsoft was, where everybody loves them, they kicked ass. They feel really full of themselves. And I am concerned that Sony is going to do what Sony did back then.
That's
and
what I said
Microsoft did 5 years ago or 6 years ago. I'm concerned that we're in the same situation and Sony's gonna be left behind because they can't. They're just not. They're so in their own head. They think they're so fucking unstoppable that people are just gonna buy their shit. And I think Microsoft is like the complete opposite. That's why they're so far behind that they feel like they have to do this stuff. What I'm worried about though is like this just seems like it goes in cycles with this stuff. That's kind of my point with this. Is like even if Microsoft does good shit now and the console comes out and it's great, I'm concerned at the end of next generation we're going to be in the same situation where Phil Spencer leaves Microsoft, they hire some new guy who's a piece of shit and doesn't give a shit about gamers and he's hyper business.
That's what I'm scared of too.
Like, so I'm tired of this. Like, can we just learn from our mistakes, guys, and like not be hyper corporate? Like, why can't they both be good? You know, why does it have to be a situation where one dominates the other?
I think companies nowadays, especially in the gaming industry, unfortunately, EA hasn't learned from this. None of the publishers have learned from this yet. But I feel like with Microsoft, it's a shining example of when you get someone who is in the industry, who knows what the industry is, who participates in the industry,
which is what Phil Spencer is.
Yeah. Like, he understands it. He plays it. Yeah. He doesn't just say, hey, I play video games. Like, you can physically see him playing video games. Like, he's in the industry. And then, of course, for Nintendo, all their people are like...
I mean, they're OG.
They're OGs.
They're like OG gaming. They're like gods.
Yeah.
You know.
So. But they're in the shit. I can't really say the same for Sony.
No, like, Sony's... So this is my point. All the guys from the end of the PS3 generation into the PS4 that felt like they were really authentic, into games, understood games, and like really interacted with fans and stuff, they're all mostly gone. They're all gone for the most part. And now the leadership that's at Sony is... It feels like we don't even know who they are because they don't talk to us, you know? So I don't feel like they care about gamers. And
but I feel like companies now, and this is just me being like looking at the glass half full. I feel like Microsoft now and other companies would be like, okay, we need to look for people. Our next CEO for Xbox needs to be someone who is like kind of, maybe someone mentoring right now. Yeah. But they play video games. They understand the culture. Yeah. They know what to do and what not to do, how to move in. Because video games it's very weird. You can't treat it like a business. You have to treat it like, I'm in this culture too, guys. And I'm making moves for you guys, for everyone. Like, you can't just be really, I got a suit and I got my business, my MBA degree, and, I got my Ferrari I'm driving and shit. Like, you can't be like that. You can't be like a stock guy. That's what I'm thinking when I think of guys like that. Like, they just work in stocks.
Well, that's what EA's CEOs always fucking are, those guys. Like,
okay, that's EA's CEO is a prime example. When I look at that guy, I look at a fucking douchebag.
Yeah, he's just a suit.
He may be the coolest dude ever, but when I look at him, I'm like, bro, you don't play video games. Like, every time Phil Spencer comes out, he has fucking jeans on and
he's got a gamer shirt on.
A gamer shirt on. When I see fucking Shigeru Miyamoto come from, obviously he's a fucking god and shit like that, so I can't even judge how he fucking looks. He can come out in the fucking underwear. I'm like, yo, that game's gonna be fucking dope. Like, but when I look at him though, I don't see.
You don't see corporate.
I don't see corporate, exactly. Yeah. When Kojima comes out, I don't see corporate. I see maybe a little bit of elitist. But when I see EA's executives,
they're corporate.
They're so
corporate.
They always have
They're
suits
such
on.
assholes, dude. They don't understand. Dude, when their E3 conferences are such a train wreck. When they did that stupid Command and Conquer demo at their fucking E3 conference, I just was like, who puts this together? Who puts this together? But oh my god, whatever. Anyways, I don't want to talk about EA.
Even Ubisoft, when they understand their consumers. Like, they try. It's cringy as fuck, but
sometimes.
It's just cringy. Every Ubisoft presentation is kind of cringy. Yeah. But at least they try. They try to communicate with their gamers.
Dude, Sony's the interesting one because I feel like Sean Layden is the guy who does the presentations. Yeah. And he's been around for a long time with Sony. He's been there since the PS3. He's one of the only ones actually that has still been there a long time.
I just feel like he's a mascot at this point, though.
No, he kind of is, but he's the only thing thing that saves their conferences for me is that he feels authentic still. Like,
Yeah.
I still feel like he's authentic. However, they're so far up their own ass as a company that they don't even allow him to do his job well because of what. I mean, do you remember the conference last year? What a fucking joke that was. Like,
I'm trying to remember.
with all the performance shit they had going on with the
yeah.
music, the guy playing the fucking pipe or whatever, like during the Ghost of Tsushima one. It's like they're so. It's weird because at the beginning of the generation, dude, they were all business. They came out, they're like, we got this game, this game, this game, this game, this game, this game, this game. This is when they're coming out, and that was it. That was the conference. There was nothing like crazy going on or anything like that. Like, so it's like, but that's starting to slowly change. So even Sean Layden can't have a fucking moment like where he's just doing his job well. They're setting him up for failure, even. So, because dude, remember that conference? Like, if you watched it, on the stream, they were taking intermissions where they were having two hosts, like, just talk about nothing for like 10 minutes
and then they had
while
to
everybody
switch.
was moving to a different area. Yeah, it was horrifying. It was one of the worst conferences I've ever seen. And so that's kind of my problem with them right now, is like the company is the issue for the most part. Like Sean Layden's fine. I like him a lot. Like, I think he knows how to do a press conference, and he doesn't sound like corporate, the way we were talking about EA or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but Xbox doesn't have that problem where there is some stuff where they're up their own ass with some of the terminology they use, where it's like, this is a timed exclusive. But it's like, how many different versions of exclusive are you gonna have? Like, it's exclusive or it's not. What is it, guys? Like, stop trying to confuse people.
Maybe they should start saying first on Xbox.
That feels like a holdover though from like old Xbox, because they've been doing that shit for years.
Yeah.
So that's one thing, but I think for the most part, the rest of it, their conferences are pretty good. Like, their conference last year was good. Them coming out and being like, we bought this studio and this studio and this studio and this studio and this studio. It's like it was cool though. It was like I'm not into Xbox, so I didn't really get that. I actually was like kind of like pissed because I liked a few of the studios.
A lot of people were pissed.
I was like, God damn it, man.
I don't really consider them, like, a lot of people look at them like EA. Do they kill a lot of studios? I don't think they kill a lot of studios.
I mean, dude, they let Bungie leave. Like, they could have kept Bungie forever, but they let them leave. It's like, so they actually they're not like EA. EA, they don't no, I don't view them that way. They're not the same way. They are a little gross with some of the things they do sometimes. Like, the Forza games have a lot of microtransactions now and stuff, and stuff like that. But they're not as bad as EA. But like, that moment was cool though. Like, if I was a fan of Xbox, that would have been a really hype ass moment where it's like, fuck yeah, we're getting like we're really building up for the next phase.
So in the Blood and Sweat and Pixels book, do they ever talk about Bungie before Destiny, like when they were with Microsoft?
Yeah. That's like the whole first half of the Destiny chapter is like explaining them breaking off from Microsoft.
So
it was just a mutual. I mean, it was a mutual agreement. Yeah, okay. Like they realized Bungie wanted to leave. Microsoft was like,
I just feel like now, after looking at Bungie's track record, I feel like Bungie was being a bunch of crybabies.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
No,
I understand that.
No, they're annoying because I've said this on prior podcasts that in that book it mentions that like one of the people they had was part of old Bungie. He was one of the guys that was getting interviewed, and he said was like how do we were tired of making sci-fi first-person games, and we break off and we get our chance to make our own thing finally. And what do we land on? A sci-fi first-person shooter. What are we doing? Like, so no, there's the management of Bungie is really questionable. Like they seem really questionable in terms of the way they've helmed the studio. Maybe they're finally. I mean, as we said a couple weeks ago, like hopefully they're finally.
I'm starting to look at it like how you looked at it now, because a lot of people are praising, Bungie's finally under the claws of Activision, but I feel like with
Bungie's not they're not out from under the cloud of Bungie.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
That's the real problem.
I'm starting to think like maybe Activision was right. Maybe Activision was like, hey man,
dude,
this is kind of like Bungie's idea.
Okay, dude. I know we bag on these companies for being corporate, but a company like Activision doesn't let a company like Bungie go unless they don't think it's worth their time.
Yeah,
like that is a huge investment. They lost a ton of like stock price. Like their stocks like fucking plummeted after letting Bungie go. they know that was going to happen. Like, so they still made the decision anyways to let Bungie go.
Yeah, there's got to be something going on over there.
It's not like it's perfect. So, anyways, I don't want to talk. Like, we're getting off topic a little bit here.
Yeah.
But you know, finishing up with Microsoft, I think it's exciting times if you're an Xbox fan. That there's a lot of stuff they're doing that is interesting. Somebody like me who hasn't been really ever part of their platform. So I'm interested to see it, dude. If they announce the next Xbox at E3 and they have an interesting games lineup coming up in the next year or two, I may jump back on board, which is insane for me to say. I can't believe I'm saying that.
I'm just really interested in this Switch and the Nintendo Microsoft partnership, especially on the Switch. I'm interested in seeing what they're going to do with the Switch. They may bring some good communication ideas to the Switch as far as, like, you know, party chat systems, achievements. And like I said, it can expose a whole different player market to Microsoft, that Japanese market that they're desperately been trying to get into, and this could be their foothold in.
Yeah, and we'll find out more next month. I mean, GDC's in March, so we're gonna see this. I may watch this presentation too.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
I really want to know what the specifics of this are, how deep it goes. I mean, it could be really surface level and not anything that cool.
Yeah, they might wait until you know, E3 to reveal everything, but
full integration and stuff. Yeah. But wouldn't it be interesting if you could do something like play your Switch games on Xbox? Like, you could stream them or something.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Wouldn't that be kind of interesting too? So there's a lot of potential with this, you know.
And we were just talking about that a couple podcasts ago, because it says NPC presented by Microsoft. There may be some games that they may emulate on the PC as well. Yep. And we were talking about how they can...
Yeah, they could be in the Microsoft store on PC.
Yeah.
Like in the Windows 10 store. I mean, I could totally see that.
Yeah.
So it's just an extension of Microsoft. I mean, it's not that far-fetched. If Nintendo does it on Xbox, it could easily go to PC too, which is crazy to think about. But here we are, you know? So it's exciting times. I don't know. Do you have any more thoughts on this?
Nope. That's it for me.
Fair enough. All right. So that's going to be us. That's going to be it for this week, guys. If you want to interact with us on Twitter, Montrell's Twitter is iTrap4TheHokage. That is the number 4, not the word. You can go watch him tweet about how much he hates Twitter. And I'm at ThunderNut01, and our combined Twitter for the show is at ThePlayersTake. If you want to ask us any questions, you can email theplayerstake01@gmail.com. If you ask us a question, we will answer it. And if you've listened this far, we appreciate you. And next week, I assume we're probably going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts 3 some more. We're both planning on finishing it. Yeah, we're both planning on finishing it. So that'll probably be our topic of the show next week, and whatever else happens. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we will see you on the next one. All right, bye, guys.